Hi there everybody and welcome back to another video on the Toon Review. Not really a lot of transfer news going on at the minute. It's rather quiet on the Western Front, but there is some stories coming out of Newcastle United that I felt that I needed to bring you this morning, or this afternoon as it is now, just to keep you updated. Now of course, we play Southampton in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. I don't think anybody expected that. Southampton, of course, beating Manchester City last night by 2-0. Incredible performance, you have to say, given the recent form of Southampton has been so poor in the Premier League. But the cup runs are continuing for them. And we will play the away leg first at St Mary's, which is perfect for us. I always prefer, in two-legged affairs, if we're going to be involved in it, then play the away game first, get that out the way, and get them back to St James's, which is going to be an incredible atmosphere. I mean, we thought the atmosphere against Leicester was great on Tuesday night. This is going to be something else, a semi-final of a cup. And I've seen a lot of Newcastle fans, of course, already booking the tickets for London and things like that. I'm not getting too carried away just yet, but look, Southampton is one of the teams that we would have wanted in the semi-finals because, I was saying, it'll be Man City, and then it's not. It's of course, Southampton. So a lot to look forward to with that, and I really, really, really am excited about it. We haven't had this kind of excitement at the club for a very long time. A semi-final of a major cup competition. We're just on this journey, aren't we? We're on an incredible journey as Newcastle United, and it is fantastic to be on it. We said last night on the show, it's a bit like a roller coaster with Newcastle United. That roller coaster ride continues, but we're on a steady incline now. We're climbing up that ladder. And let's hope we don't hit the drop for a very, very long time. Let's just hope we keep climbing that ladder on this incredible roller coaster that is Newcastle United Football Club, of course. So very, very excited about it, and I really do believe we can make the final. There is no reason why we can't. We're playing some superb football. Southampton will pose a threat. Let's not get carried away too much. Southampton will want it just as much as we do. They've had a bit of a poor season, so to make a cup final will kind of make up for that dreadful season that they're having. Whether they want to concentrate on the Premier League, I don't know, but obviously the cup final is a nice distraction. The semi-final is a nice distraction for them to get away from the pressures of being in that relegation zone of the Premier League. So it's Southampton for us, guys. Dare we dream. Dare we dream. Now, Danny Murphy has recently been interviewed on TalkSport talking about Harry Maguire. And as you can see there on the border there, I've put, would you have Harry Maguire at Newcastle United? So please do put down in the comments what you think of Harry Maguire, because obviously he's had a bit of a rough time at Manchester United. He's been the scapegoat for a lot of things at Manchester United. However, the World Cup, he was really good, and I have to say that a lot of people praised his performances in the World Cup. He looked very, very good. Now, obviously, Eddie Howe is not going to change his defensive system for anybody, no matter how good they are or how bad they are. When they come into if he signs any more defenders, that's not going to happen. Eddie Howe has got 100% faith in Fabian Schär and, of course, Dan Botman. But what happens if one of those get injured? We've got Lascelles. Is he really good enough? Absolutely not. We've seen that numerous occasions when he stepped in this season. He hasn't been at it. Now, Harry Maguire, of course, wouldn't get in straight away. But we're talking about building a squad here, aren't we, guys? We're talking about building a squad at Newcastle United. And that squad has got to get better. If we want to, play in Europe next season and things like that, we have got to have a better squad at Newcastle. And Harry Maguire is possibly somebody that would come in and do a really good job when needed. Eddie would be able to have that squad rotation. Now, as for the transfer fee, of course, we know that Manchester United paid £80 million for him. There's no way in hell's earth that he's worth £80 million now. Not with the performances that he's had for Manchester United, the experience he's had at Manchester United. For me, no. Definitely not. However, it'd be interesting to see what you guys think of what he may cost us. So, put in the comments if you'd have him, first of all, and then, what would you think a viable transfer fee is for Harry Maguire? Because this isn't saying that Newcastle are actually looking at him, to be honest. This is just going off a Danny Murphy interview, but it got me thinking, what do you guys out there think of Harry Maguire? Because it's clear that he's got no future at Manchester United at all. I think Luke Shaw's getting ahead of him now at centre-back, and he's a left-back. So I don't think he's got any future there. So he is going to be looking for a new club. I've no doubt about that, probably in the summer. So would you take Harry Maguire? And if so, how much? Because it's very interesting to me. It got me thinking when I read that interview, and I'm thinking, that's, is it possible that he could go with an extra centre-back for that squad depth? Maybe not in this window, but certainly something to look forward maybe in the summer. But let me know what you think about that, because it did get me thinking how good Harry Maguire would be if he did come and play under Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Now, Newcastle United are trying to push very hard, of course, as we know, for Dortmund wonder kid, Moukoko, I think his name is, 18-year-old, of course, his contract runs out in the summer. And Newcastle United are believed to be one of the clubs that are interested in him. Now, this kid is creating all sorts of excitement across European football. Some people are calling him the next Haaland. Some people are just saying he's himself, but he's a wonder kid. He's going to bring incredible talent to whatever team he goes for. Now, Newcastle United, we know are definitely in the mix for him. They've made enquiries. Now, the thing is for me is that Dortmund will try and keep him. They want to keep him. There's no doubt about that. However, if you look at certain reports are saying that Newcastle are prepared to triple his signing on bonus in order to get him. Now, of course, we know he can sign a pre-contract agreement in January with his contract running out. Or is that true with him being 18? I'm not sure. But anyway, Newcastle are 100% trying to get him. But again, he's on £800 a week, I think I read, at Dortmund. £800 a week. I mean, his wages could go through the roof if whoever he signs for, to be honest. He's been hailed as a once-in-a-generation talent. Now, when was the last time we were in for a player with a once-in-a-generation talent? It's incredible. And it's up to, obviously, Dan Ashworth and the staff to try and convince this kid to stay, to come to Newcastle, sorry. And it'll be very, very interesting for me to see if we can get him, because if we do, he's a striker who could play for us for years. He's 18. We know what the club has been like in going for youngsters and things like that in the past. So why not again? This kid is exciting. He's got amazing talent. He can score goals. He's come through the ranks at Dortmund. Now, let's be honest, Dortmund are very, very good at bringing kids through. You look at how Bellingham's done since he's been there. You look at all the players that have come through the Dortmund ranks and moved on. Fantastic footballers. They've got a wonderful academy. And this guy is doing it there as well. So let's just hope, because we've got the money. I mean, that's not being big-headed. I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, you mentioned money." Yeah, we have. It's out there that we've got very, very rich owners. So if we can compete with teams now and offer up to triple the signing-on bonus that other clubs were going to give him, then why shouldn't we? If we want the player, let's go and get the player. It's as simple as that for me. It's an absolute no-brainer. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, Keith Downey has reported that we did make an inquiry for Scott McTominay at Manchester United. Now, I do find this a little bit strange. Apparently, Manchester United said no. Of course they would. But I don't think Scott McTominay is any better than Sean Longstaff, in my opinion. I really don't. And I don't know what McTominay would bring to this squad that we haven't already got. Now, this is just my personal opinion. I watch Sean Longstaff all the time, very closely. He's improved dramatically this season. Yes, we know he's not, his technical ability is not quite up there with the rest of them. However, he's done a wonderful job in getting back to some sort of form. But Scott McTominay is no different to Sean Longstaff, in my opinion, and I don't really know why Newcastle United made an inquiry. It's a baffling one for me, but it is what it is. I mean, would you take McTominay? Because I'm not sure. I don't think we need him for a start, and I don't think Scott McTominay is a player that would come into the squad and improve us. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for somebody to come in, players who are now going to sign for Newcastle United and improve the squad to make us even better. So we've got quality to replace quality when we need to do that. We haven't got that at the minute, as Sheffield Wednesday proved. But Scott McTominay, for me, not one of those. I've seen McTominay play a lot of times, and he's certainly someone that sort of wouldn't really excite me if we as a club go for him, to be honest. So it's a no from me, and I'm pretty pleased Man United said no. Now, Eddie Howe has said that we won't be distracted from the Premier League duties because of the run in the Carabao Cup. And you'd expect Eddie Howe to say that, wouldn't you? Because he's not going to come out and say, oh, it's very easy to get distracted. Yes, we've got a fantastic chance of making a Wembley final here for the first time in many, many, many years. And we as Newcastle fans are very excited about that. But we shouldn't take our eye off the Premier League. And I don't think Eddie Howe for 1 second will let the players do that, to be honest. We will go out there on Sunday against Fulham and be our normal selves and put in a big effort to get 3 points. It won't be an easy game. Fulham are doing very well this season, but I expect us to beat Fulham because of the way we're playing and simply because of the morale around the team, the way we're going, the absolute brilliance that we've seen from certain players. I expect us to beat Fulham and beat them well. And keep this momentum going in the Premier League. I think some of the bookies have made us odds-on favourites to be one of the top 4 at the end of the season. Now, that's incredible because we're not used to that either, being odds-on favourites for anything. Normally, it's odds-on favourites for relegation. But now we're odds-on favourites to, win the Carabao, get top 4, things like that. It's incredible turnaround. And for me, I know for a fact Eddie Howe won't let the players get distracted by that at all. He expects 100% in any game they play, so not just the Premier League or the Carabao. So for me, I'm not even worried about that. And finally, Arsenal. Now, we know that Yuri Tielemans has been, getting a lot of interest from Arsenal and Newcastle United. It's been well reported that Newcastle United have been looking at Yuri Tielemans. However, he did disappoint on Tuesday night. He was a bit of a bitch, let's be honest. Now, I would have him. I've stated that on the shows that I would love Yuri Tielemans. I think he does bring extra quality to the squad, but he also, I think, needs a change from Leicester City, and I think he needs to come in and do something at another club, which I think Newcastle would be perfect. Eddie Howe would get the very best out of him. But Arsenal, I read this morning that their director, Edu, has been astounded by Tielemans' wage demands. Now, this may well be a problem, and this may well be why Newcastle United haven't made a move or a reported move for Tielemans because of his wage demands. We know Newcastle have strict wage structure at the moment. We know they're going to have to break that at some point. But at present, his wage demands are through the roof, and that's astounded Arsenal as well as everybody else. So that might be a reason that Tielemans isn't on the radar at present. Now, that's it for today, guys. Do join us tonight for the Fulham preview, of course. That is at 8 o'clock. If you're watching this on Thursday, that is. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. If you have enjoyed it today, as usual, guys, please do hit that like button. It really does help on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, come and be part of the community at the Toon Review. Hit the subscribe button, free to do so. And also that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live, we upload or we schedule in a live show. You can catch us across all the socials, as you can see there on the screen. So come and join us on them and become a member of the Toon Review. Hit the join button, become a member and get yourself in the hat for some wonderful prizes. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Take care.